Good evening. It's been nearly a week, and the fire at a pair of condo buildings in Thorncliffe Park continues to smolder. Fire officials calling the situation unprecedented as they updated the media and the hundreds of people who tonight remain displaced. CTV's Janice Golding is live with the latest. Janice.
Hi, Michelle. Yes, the fire continues to burn between the two buildings behind us here. 6 days and counting with no end in sight.
Tough, very tough.
Shahid was loading up whatever he could this afternoon, worried when next he'd have access to his possessions.
I'm from work to come here to fetch my stuff because they say today is the last day. Maybe they're gonna another 1 week. Nobody can enter the building.
Residents of 408 units from two adjacent condo buildings already displaced from their homes for 6 days with no idea when they'll be allowed home.
Really frustrating to be up on my home. Yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Toronto's fire chief saying today a multidisciplinary team of engineers is designing different plans to fight the fire. But accessing the combustible particle board, the material burning in the expansion joint between the two buildings, is proving next to impossible.
You're talking about 2 inches. Okay, you're talking this much space.
At a news conference today, the chief called this the most complex fire he's ever battled.
We have never, in the history of the Toronto Fire Service, experienced a fire like this. I have spoken to colleagues across North America over the last number of days and, metro-sized cities, and they have never experienced a fire like this.
While engineers in Toronto Fire work on how best to tackle the burning material, the Red Cross and Toronto Emergency Services are dealing with those who are out of their homes. To date, placing 239 people in 131 hotel rooms.
Our focus right now is to helping all individuals get the services that they need.
While the city was unable to tell us how much they've spent to help tenants, they urged them to contact their insurance companies, who are obliged to cover additional living spaces.
So in a condo, if you've insured your contents for $50,000, the additional living expenses can be up to 20 to 30% of that amount.
As to when people will be able to return home, the chief says it will be a phased-in approach.
I'm going to be very honest. We have water damage throughout the building for obvious reasons. And those units that we are trying to access this material to extinguish, there will be damage to walls, there will be holes in walls.
A frustrating fire for the pros to face, and even more frustrating for residents.
Life is hard like that.
While 239 people are staying in hotels, the number of people registered for support with the Red Cross is actually much higher, sitting at 370 people. Reporting live from Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Janice. Meanwhile, a woman in her 80s had to be rescued from a fire in Etobicoke. Flames broke out in a residential area near Martin Grove and Waterbury Drive, south of the 401, at around 1:30 in the afternoon. Now, she was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
And frightening moments in Vaughan this afternoon as a home and SUV went up in flames. Emergency crews were called to the house on Tierra Avenue near Jane and Major Mackenzie shortly before 2:30. Police say everyone made it out safely. No injuries reported here. The view from our CTV News chopper there showing a vehicle in the driveway engulfed in flames. Several nearby homes were evacuated as a precaution. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
Just ahead tonight, it was loaded with relief supplies destined for those trying to recover after a devastating hurricane hit Jamaica. And overnight, it was stolen. We'll hear from the GTA residents who collected the supplies.
The Ford government has released the delayed results of EQAO testing and is now launching an advisory body to those results.
CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the details.
It frustrated me and made me quite upset.
The Minister of Education displeased with the EQAO results he held back for study. He doesn't feel progress in reading, writing, and math is coming fast enough.
Half of grade 6 students and 42% of grade 9 students are not meeting the provincial standard in math.
In response, the government's setting up a 2-person advisory panel to dig into student learning.
The review will look at whether our curriculum and learning resources are clear and easy to use. It will consider how well teachers are being prepared and supported. It will examine whether students have the tools they need to succeed in the classroom.
And look at what kind of testing makes sense. The people doing that work will be named in the new year. Their pay, $1,500 a day.
I think he should be focusing on what some say the $1,500 a year that students are being shorted individually in our education system.
The opposition says the changes needed to help kids succeed are no secret.
We need smaller class sizes. We need more teachers. We need more educational assistants, not less.
The president of EQAO is open to talking, but
what we don't need is other outside experts, again, trying to tell teachers as if they aren't professionals with experience what should be happening in their classroom.
Public elementary teachers want to do away with EQAO, a test their union says hasn't lived up to its goal.
Which was to close achievement gaps identified through the tests, where funds are directed to communities and to locations where extra supports are needed.
Calandra had planned to make a decision on whether or not to do away with trustees by the end of this year. Now he says no announcement will be made until 2026. He's still reviewing constitutional requirements for education in the Catholic and French systems.
But nothing has changed my mind right now that trustees are in any way the best way to deliver a $43 billion educational system.
At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A live look outside tonight where we are in for chilly conditions and the flurries will be flying. But look at this beautiful shot of Nathan Phillips Square. People bundled up, enjoying the ice. Yes, the winter festivities are in full swing and we are headed inside with CTV's Lindsay Morrison.
She's in Leaside as the 30th annual Toy Mountain campaign continues. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Nathan, Michelle, this is one of our biggest crowds yet as we continue to build a toy. Oh, yeah, it's a nice loud crowd tonight. We've got so many special guests. Hello, children. Hello, Sharon. We'll get to you in just a moment. But Jan, thanks for having us here tonight at Access Storage in Leaside. We love coming out here and you're a fabulous partner to Toy Mountain.
Our pleasure, Lindsay. The more the merrier for Toy Mountain. This is our 16th year where we've been hosting and building a mountain of toys, and so we're very excited for everybody to be here today.
It's going to be a wonderful night. There's all kinds of treats. We've got the beautiful carolers back there that we will enjoy listening to in just a moment as well. Peter, want to say hello to you from Rotary Toronto Leaside, and you brought a donation tonight as well.
Absolutely. That's what we're all here for, and we're all here to make sure that there's as many toys as possible to build the biggest mountain we can find.
Oh, I think we're going to build the biggest mountain we can find. Do you all agree? Yeah. Melissa DeMarco, thank you for joining us tonight as well. This is a special place for you.
So wonderful. I love the fact that Access Storage has brought the community together. Everyone is coming in to contribute to this incredible toy mountain to ensure that every kid out there enjoys the holiday season.
It sure feels like every kid is going to be able to. Everyone hold up your toys. This is an amazing showing already. And you know what? It's chilly out there tonight, so we're staying nice and cozy in here. For now, we've got a lot of toys to check out outside too. But let's take a first look at your forecast. Make sure you do bundle up if you're venturing out tonight. It's chilly out there, -1 degree in Toronto. That doesn't look so bad, but you factor in the winds and it feels more like -6 at this hour. Those winds coming out of the southwest, and they are breezy. They've been gusting close to about 50 through the rest of the day today and are going to change to more of a northwest wind tonight. Already we've seen some flurries. We had some outside the window here not too long ago in Leaside, and we can expect more as the night progresses. There's your overnight. Oh, Burr, December, -7 degrees, wind chill -16. And yes, this is good weather for building a toy mountain. So much more to come live from Access Storage here in Leaside. For now, we'll send it back inside to you. Wave bye, everybody. See you soon.
And that's how you donate there. Also coming up on CTV News, a labor situation that could leave thousands of Canadians grounded over the holiday season. Hundreds of Air Transat pilots may soon be in a legal strike position. We'll tell you what they're asking for to avoid a slowdown during the busiest travel time of the year.
Despite the fact he's embroiled in controversy, Labour Minister David Piccini got a hero's welcome at the Empire Club, a lunchtime gathering of prominent Canadians and business leaders.
But as CTV's John Woodward reports, even in front of a friendly audience, Piccini couldn't avoid the Skills Development Fund.
A standing ovation for David Piccini as he entered the ballroom for a speech at the Empire Club of Canada, a lunchtime speaking series for prominent Canadians that started over a century ago.
Our government is setting up our workforce for success for years to come.
Only blocks away, his party's management of the $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund being slammed in the legislature.
This premier used to be a fierce opponent of the government gravy train. Remember that? And now he's conducting it. You know, toot toot, all aboard.
The kind of criticism that's gone on for months in a fund tied to an adult entertainment club and a dental practice claiming to treat the Ford family.
Let me deal with the elephant in the room.
That from Joseph Mancinelli, the leader of LIUNA, a union that benefited to the tune of tens of millions from the fund and sponsored the event.
Words like corruption are words that should never be spoken in the legislature, and quite frankly, those who are speaking those are the corrupt people that are ruining this province.
One Empire Club board member is listed as a partner in Rubicon, a lobbying firm. An analysis by CTV News found had represented clients that got upwards of $80 million in Skills Development Fund grants. She told us in a message she wasn't involved in this event, and the Empire Club said in a statement, programming decisions are made by staff within established governance processes. Safeguarding the integrity of our platform is a core responsibility. Pacini was asked about the Skills Development Fund.
Can you tell us a little bit about that decision process and what you're seeing that maybe we're not seeing in the media and the public?
Yeah, and I think this really stems, first off, I want to say, I have never skirted ministerial accountability. I am accountable as minister for the decisions that we make as a government.
Calls for accountability also coming from some on the right, including the New Blue Party.
Spending taxpayer money on basically corporate welfare, which is what they've done with the Skill Development Fund. It's hard for the general public to wrap their head around that because it goes against everything they've been taught from their parents and their grandparents of what the PC party is.
Jim Carajalio says this audience should wake up, but today they are applauding. John Woodward, CTV News.
A city councillor in Clarington is facing 2 charges of uttering threats after an incident that allegedly involved a mayoral candidate. Peterborough police confirmed they've charged 41-year-old Karina Trail after a 3-month investigation. Police say the incident involved a former police officer and current member of the Durham Regional Police. Trail is expected to appear in court in January. From clothes to food, tools, and generators, a shipping container was loaded with relief supplies destined for those affected by the hurricane that struck Jamaica.
And according to people who collected the supplies, last night it was stolen. But now they're hoping the public can help get their donations back. CTV's Raheem Ladani's live in Mississauga tonight with more. Raheem.
Hi, Nathan. This dedicated group of volunteers are absolutely devastated tonight. They have been working tirelessly for weeks, and that shipping container you mentioned was just about ready to head over to Jamaica, and now it's all gone.
We actually was packing from here.
Michael Bennett and other volunteers have been gathering donations to send to Jamaica after the country was devastated by Hurricane Melissa. But when they came to their storage facility to load a 20-foot truck this morning, everything was gone.
For someone just to take it like that, it's hard to deal with that.
Bennett says he was shown security footage captured by the company Public Storage in Mississauga.
This is the lock that was cut.
He says it shows a flat truck break through a locked gate, back up to this blue trailer where the barrels and crates of goods were stored. The truck was loaded up before driving away, all around 5 in the morning.
It doesn't matter about the stuff and all that thing. The food is more important than even some of the other stuff that's there. You know what I mean? What are they going to do with it here? Absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing.
Among the stolen items were nearly 24 barrels and crates, which had been filled with food, clothing, and generators. Donations meant to help those who are recovering from the deadly hurricane.
In 3 weeks, we collect over, I would say maybe $300,000 to $400,000 worth of stuff. That is food, equipment, tools, everything you could name it to go build back houses and feed the people.
Peel police confirmed they came to the storage facility just east of Derry Road and Goreway Drive and say it appears a theft occurred overnight. While the volunteers now work with police in their investigation, they remain strong, vowing not to quit.
They ain't gonna shake us. I think we're gonna do better.
Promising to gather donations again so Jamaica gets the help it needs. The volunteers are asking anyone who spots that blue trailer, which you saw in the story, to please contact police. Peel Police at this time did not have a suspect or vehicle description to share with the public. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. York Regional Police are sharing footage of a dramatic chase that led to a man facing 32 charges, including stunt driving, dangerous operation, and driving while under suspension.
Is it a unit? What is going on? Is he going through red lights? Yeah, he is. All right, we've got a live one here. Yeah.
Officers reported a Dodge Caravan driving erratically in Vaughan early Saturday morning. The police say the minivan was stolen and the suspect tried and failed to steal another vehicle from a driveway while fleeing. Police then deployed a tire deflation device.
He's starting to spark up. He's sparking good. Into an apartment roundabout.
The police helicopter capturing the suspect ditching the vehicle in a parking lot on Antibes Drive in Toronto, who was soon stopped on foot. Police say they've also linked 29-year-old John Derrick Saturnino to 2 break-and-enter incidents last month. Well, there's some potential turbulence on the horizon for Air Transat passengers as 99% of the carrier's unionized pilots vote to authorize a strike.
As CTV's Annie Bergeron Oliver reports, the flight cancellations could start soon.
In exactly 1 week's time, Air Transat could be forced to start grounding flights, as its roughly 700 unionized pilots will be in a position to strike.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated. Other airlines like Air Canada and WestJet are flying full plane for the holidays.
The threat during the busiest travel time of the year comes nearly a year after talks between the union and airline began. The pilots want pay raises and better job security and say they're tired of working under a contract signed 10 years ago. In a statement, the union says, "Let us be clear, we do not want to strike. However, after nearly a year of slow bargaining and little progress, we urge management to utilize the remaining time and negotiate seriously to avoid operational and flight disruptions."
If anyone knows labor negotiations, I do, and I know that there's a pattern here, and we obviously hope they get a deal.
The airline is confident a deal can be found, saying in a statement, although this is a common step in the collective bargaining process and does not mean that a strike will be initiated, we remain fully committed at the bargaining table and aim to reach a tentative agreement without labor dispute. Aviation analysts say the prospect of a Christmas slowdown puts pressure on a company already facing financial troubles.
I don't think Transat's in a position right now of being able to accept a financially disruptive situation like a strike, so they will settle.
Air Transat says its operations are currently running as normal. Either side must give 72 hours notice of a strike or a lockout. Annie Bergeron Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Federal and provincial leaders are pushing back on criticism of their move to offer financial supports to Algoma Steel, even as they were aware the company planned to lay off about 1,000 workers in the coming months.
How is it the Prime Minister could have been so incompetent to saddle Canadians who can't afford to pay their bills with a $400 million bailout bill without any guarantee of jobs staying in Canada?
I quote the CEO of Algoma Steel that there would be an even darker day if this government hadn't acted. That loan, that support gives Algoma a bridge to the future.
The province also gave the Sault Ste. Marie Company, which is Canada's last standing independent publicly owned steel producer, $100 million. The Ford government is echoing Carney, saying it was a choice between saving 2/3 of the company and losing it all.
Well, the investment that we made in Algoma was necessary, first of all, just to keep the doors open, to make sure that that they're available to be open today. And we saw the president of Algoma say if it wasn't for that investment, they wouldn't be here today. They would be completely shut down.
Economic Minister Vic Fedeli said a change in operations at the plant had meant layoffs were coming regardless, but the Trump tariffs accelerated the process.
U.S. President Donald Trump weighed in on the future of the free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. This comes as preparations begin for a review of the deal.
It expires in about a year, and we'll either let it expire or we'll maybe work out another deal with Mexico and Canada. But look, Mexico and Canada have taken advantage of the United States, like just about every other country, in all fairness.
3 days of public hearings are taking place in Washington ahead of the formal review of the agreement, which begins July 1st. CUSMA, as it's known in Canada, has been a key part of shielding most goods from U.S. tariffs. A number of American industry leaders have been urging the Trump administration to preserve the deal. Concerns are being raised about the sale of armored vehicles made here in Canada to an American agency accused of human rights violations.
CTV's Rachel Aiello has been digging into the request from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and has the details.
20 armored vehicles made by Brampton-based defense manufacturer Rochelle are set to be delivered to U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents before the end of the year. The rush order from ICE came in late last month and is worth the equivalent of 10 million Canadian dollars. According to U.S. procurement documents, Rochelle is uniquely positioned to fulfill the requirement within the necessary timeframe, having confirmed immediate availability of vehicles that fully meet ICE specifications.
The government is not involved in the transaction.
The department enacting the U.S. administration's mass deportations has been accused of abusing human rights. Asked if the Canadian government had any concerns about the contract in light of this, the foreign minister wouldn't say.
We have not received any questions or permit requests regarding this transaction, and I will continue to reiterate that Canada and the United States have a strong bilateral relationship with an open line of communication in which, if necessary, I will raise the issues with Secretary Rubio.
Rochelle's made in Canada armored vehicles have been sent to the front lines in Ukraine, though the company also set up shop south of the border last year, ahead of U.S. President Donald Trump enacting his Buy American agenda. Rochelle did not respond to questions by our deadline about where the armored vehicles ICE ordered are originating. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
As the U.S. tries to broker a deal to halt Russia's invasion of Ukraine, NATO's Secretary General says it's important Moscow doesn't get the wrong impression.
Ukraine continues to show incredible resilience. Putin believes he can outlast us, but we are not going anywhere. Today is yet another clear sign that he is wrong. We are strengthening our support for Ukraine and increasing pressure on Russia.
Mark Rutte said 2/3 of NATO member states have now committed to a program aimed at supporting Ukraine's defense needs. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada's chipping in a combined $235 million as Ottawa ramps up work on NATO priorities.
This meeting that we had today of all NATO foreign ministers was an opportunity for Canada to reaffirm our commitment to securing the Arctic, to reaffirm our intention to meet the 2% of GDP target, to strengthen the eastern flank, and of course, to support Ukraine.
Global Affairs Canada says the government has committed nearly $22 billion in funding for Ukraine since Russia invaded the country in 2022.
To the Middle East now, where Hamas says it's handed over the body of one of the last two deceased October 7th hostages after it was found in Gaza. The armed wing of the Hamas-allied Palestinian Islamic Jihad group says it found the body after carrying out a search in northern Gaza. This comes after Israel says remains handed over yesterday, did not belong to a hostage. The handover of the final bodies would complete a key condition in the U.S.-backed ceasefire. Meanwhile, both sides accuse each other of ongoing violations of the deal. 5 Palestinians were reported killed as Israel struck a camp in Khan Yunis, saying it was hitting a Hamas terrorist after 5 of its troops were wounded in an attack in Rafah.
The death toll in last week's devastating high-rise complex fire in Hong Kong has risen to 159 as mourners continue to gather at the scene.
I think the entire population in Hong Kong would love to have the truth and the justice to be told.
Neighbors laid flowers at the memorial site as police continue to search through the charred buildings. Nearly 30 people remain missing, and recovery efforts could take weeks. 15 people have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter and 12 have been arrested in a corruption investigation. Authorities say substandard plastic mesh and insulation foam used during renovation work fueled the rapid spread of the deadly blaze.
Coming up, support gaps leaving many with intellectual disabilities vulnerable to homelessness. An eye-opening look at a segment of society experts say is falling through the cracks.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, a new bill at Queen's Park is raising concerns about tenant rights. Some landlords say the changes are needed because a small number of professional tenants are abusing the system to avoid paying rent and moving out. That story is just ahead.
We are outside Access Storage here in Leaside. Jan, this is a portable storage unit. Tell us what you've got inside there.
Well, we could open up the door to find out. I've enlisted my little helper over here. So now let's open it up. Let's see what we got here.
We've got a mountain of toys.
Toys and more toys.
Oh, thank you, Access Storage. And I know this is not your only donation.
Oh, no, this is just a start.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots more to come.
That's fabulous. We'll check in with you in just a little bit. Also want to introduce you to Toronto Search and Rescue Marine. Miko's here.
Yes,
Tell us what you've brought tonight.
So we brought a bunch of toys here from our Search and Rescue Marine unit here as well, from all of our members. Lots of toys for the boys and girls here. So we're very excited. This is our first annual toy drive that we're participating in. And we also want to put out a challenge to our other search and rescue units as well for next year to make this toy mountain even bigger than what it is today.
Oh, that's so fabulous. Let's hear it for you guys. That's wonderful. See, it's never too late to start a tradition. You've also got gift cards for the teens.
We got some gift cards for the teens, so no kid is left out for the holidays. And there you go, so everybody gets something for the holidays.
Thank you, Toronto Search and Rescue Marine. Thank you to Access Storage. We've got a full look at your weather forecast coming up, but let's enjoy the carols from the McGregor Carolers as we head to break. You're watching CTV News.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle.
A housing bill that passed at Queen's Park last week is raising concerns it could make it easier for landlords to evict tenants.
But some groups, especially those representing smaller landlords, say changes are needed to bring balance back to the rental system. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Nathan and Michelle, the vast majority of tenants pay their rent on time and work with landlords if problems happen. But there are some professional tenants who refuse to pay rent, create delays at the Landlord and Tenant Board, or demand cash payments to move out. There were protests at Queen's Park when Bill 60 was passed, concerns that landlords would be given new powers to evict tenants. The government says it's about fairness for all involved.
We're creating balance in the landlord-tenant system.
I've been trying to get them out. I've been trying to move back for a while.
Priscilla Addo owns a house in Whitby but had to move out following a separation. The single mother now rents but wants to move back into her home. She says the tenants are often late with the rent and have delayed her case with the Landlord and Tenant Board for almost 2 years.
I should have the right to move back home, and the Landlord Tenant Board should not have control over something that I worked so hard. To purchase.
She gets to stay, and I have no rights to my property.
Sylvia Vago owns a condo in Toronto. Her parents are retired and were going to move into it, but the current tenant is refusing to move out. The case has been before the Landlord and Tenant Board for a year and a half. The tenant says she will only move out if Vago gives her $25,000.
Like $25,000 is not an amount that is reasonable at all, and I cannot have access to it back until she decides that she wants to move out.
I think Bill 60 is a small step in leveling the playing field.
Solo is a group that advocates for 8,500 small landlords in Ontario. It says the changes will help reduce waiting times to get cases heard faster before the board.
Right now, for me to ask somebody to leave because they're not paying rent, it will take me 10 months. And that's under the new rules. Before, it would take me 2 years.
Small landlords say if they need their property back, it should happen in a reasonable amount of time without the threat of cash for keys.
If I had the opportunity to do this again, I would never rent out my property. I would never be a landlord.
I feel like, it's not fair that me and my children, do we have to become homeless? Do we have to go into a shelter? Because I'm getting evicted now.
And tenant groups still have concerns about Bill 60, saying it could hand more power to property management companies and make it easier for them to evict tenants so they can charge higher rents. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, if you can stay indoors tonight, do it. And Lindsay's nice and warm where she's at.
Yes. What a great spot to be as our Toy Mountain campaign continues. Access Storage in Leaside. They always put on quite the event there, Lindsay.
Yeah, Michelle and Nathan, this is one of the Toy Mountain events that I look forward to every year. Really great people here and some warm treats after spending some time outside. But we've got some more donations to get to. This is Graham and Angie, is that right? And you're from Their Opportunity. Tell us a little bit about the donation you're making tonight.
So every year we gather hockey equipment all year so we can donate it to youth in Indigenous communities. And we always have some stuff left over, and there's no way I want it sitting in our warehouse when we could donate it to the Toy Mountain. And that's why we're here today.
Absolutely. This is fabulous. I can think of a lot of kids who would be very happy to wake up to something like this under their Christmas tree. Thank you for what you do.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
We've had a lot of community members from Leaside join us tonight. Leaside Baseball?
Yes, we're happy to support Toy Mountain every year, and again, supporting sport, and welcome Access Storage to be partners with us, and we're just really happy to be here.
I want to introduce you to Kevin, who brought some donations down here, looking very festive tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, I've been supporting Toy Mountain for such a long time, and also Santa sends his regards from the North Pole because I'm actually his assistant, Santa Jr. So
kids, do you hear that? That's some good news, Kevin. Thank you for all that you do as well. And I want to bring you in too. Is it fun to be a part of Toy Mountain and to be helping collect toys for kids?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for what you do. I know that you've been helping with Leaside Hockey too. You're a big supporter of this particular event. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk a little bit about the weather, and then we have a rather special guest that I can't wait to get to. But we'll begin by letting you know that it is chilly outside. It is -1 degree. It feels like -8. Look at those temperatures and wind chills across northern parts of Ontario. And through the night tonight, it is going to be quite chilly. -7 for the low, -16 the wind chill, and a few flurries out there set to continue as well. So tomorrow, our forecast daytime high is only -4 degrees. It's going to feel into the minus teens throughout the day, and that makes this our coldest day of the season so far and our coldest day since last winter. Tomorrow's highs right across southern Ontario below seasonal. For the third day in December, we should be closer to about 3 degrees on the plus side. So if you think it's been chilly, you'd be correct. We do have some flurries moving across southern Ontario. This is a frontal system, so a cold front coming through. That's going to change the wind direction and lead to a little bit of lake effect snow once again. So don't be too surprised if you see some, not so much accumulating snow this time, but perhaps just enough to reduce visibility on the roads out and about this evening. And then tomorrow, those northwest winds really do kick in. As far as any measurable snow is concerned, this is mainly, again, for the snow belt areas, not so much for us here in the GTA. But the possibility of flurries continues into the weekend. Here's a look at some of those snowfall totals, just a trace to maybe a centimeter or two here locally, but perhaps double-digit centimeter accumulation close to Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. 7-day forecast. Let's get to the weekend. A little bit milder for your Saturday, 2 degrees and flurries in store. Sunday, we're back into some sun, but it's going to get cold again, especially at night. Look at that overnight low, -12, and a below seasonal start to next week as well. A reminder that you can share your Toy Mountain donation pictures with us. In fact, we would love to see them. If you're dropping a new unwrapped toy off at any of our drop-off bins around the GTA, make sure you snap a photo, tag us on social media, or email us at the address on your screen. We'd love to be able to show you off and celebrate you here on the news as well. Speaking of celebrating on the news, I'm so happy to be joined here tonight by none other than Sharon, of course, of Sharon, Lois, and Bram, and Randy. This is Sharon's daughter. Thank you for being here tonight. You've become a supporter of Toy Mountain.
Absolutely, and with great pleasure. I think you're doing wonderful work, and remember to donate.
Yes, and Randy, you have played a big part in the beloved books that have stemmed from wonderful songs from Sharon, Lois, and Bram. You're a big part of that, and thank you for donations that you've been making.
We're very happy that Tundra Books has donated children's books. Books are an important gift to give, so toys are great and books are also great. Reading is a really wonderful way to connect with family. And
if you can sing your book,
all the
that's
better,
even
like
better.
with our books.
We can sing your books. In fact, I think we should. Can we sing perhaps my favorite tonight?
We could sing it.
Okay.
Everybody help.
Everyone help.
Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-ma-rinky-doo. I love you. Sing it again. Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-ma-rinky-doo. I love you. Put up the sun. I love you in the morning.
Today marks International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
While steps have been taken to support those living with disabilities, many people continue to fall through the cracks. CTV's Sean Lathong reports.
First Nation.
Nico Papella is a living example of how a system can fail those who need it most.
Having the tornado come in, it just caused a lot of havoc.
He's a representative of people living with an intellectual disability. He's someone who's very engaged, even acting as the council president for Community Living Ontario. He'd been living on his own with some support when a tornado destroyed his home in 2022.
I do get assistance from my local agency for doing certain things, whether it's simple like apartment maintenance, doing some stuff in the community.
After the tornado, Nico received some immediate support. When government support ended, he had nowhere to go, and Nico became unhoused for a year and a half.
It was the fact that there was no follow-up once I was leaving from the hotel to go into like different places like a bed and breakfast or another motel. They weren't following up to say, hey, what kind of assistance do you need?
The system is crisis driven, so unless you're in a crisis, you're not going to get all the support you need.
Chris Beasley is the CEO of Community Living Ontario. He says that support for people with intellectual disabilities has dropped dramatically.
Over the past 30 years, we've had a cumulative investment in core funding of about 7%. So when you think about the cost of living's gone up over 60% in that time frame.
The result has been a fragmented system with nearly 40,000 people waiting for supportive housing.
Homelessness is huge in our sector. In fact, when we look at shelters in Toronto, up to 30% of people who are in the shelter system have a developmental disability. So totally overrepresented in that population. And human trafficking, huge disproportionate amount of human trafficking.
Last week, an ombudsman report titled Lost in Transition focused on what it calls the inappropriate hospitalization of adults with intellectual disabilities because there's no other supports available.
The financial costs to the province are enormous. Housing someone in a hospital bed for years is extraordinarily expensive.
The Ombudsman's report made 24 recommendations to the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, and there remains a funding shortfall.
I'm waiting
to find supportive housing for my son.
Community Living Ontario has launched a campaign called Waiting to Belong in the hopes of helping to fill some of that funding gap. Because he found support, life has improved for Nico, taking part in a ceremony at Durham Council to recognize the day. He was married earlier this year and is back in his own home, helping him move life forward.
Like I was able to enjoy doing the things I wanted to do instead of having to constantly travel back and forth.
But there are many people that Nico advocates for who have not been so lucky. Sean Lathong, CTV News.
A major Ontario Children's Hospital is sounding the alarm over an ongoing surge in flu infections and hospitalizations. The warning came today from CHEO in Ottawa. The hospital says it's seen a significant increase in the number of children coming to the emergency department since the start of cold and flu season. In November, the number of kids testing positive for influenza was 8 times the figure seen the year before, and it resulted in twice as many hospitalizations for the virus. CHEO says most children seeking care hadn't been vaccinated against the flu. It advised people of all ages to get their shot to help reduce the risk of serious illness, with flu season not expected to peak until late December.
Canadians impacted by a data breach at a major genetic testing company have reached a proposed settlement in a class action lawsuit. The systems at 23andMe was compromised by hackers in 2023. Canada's privacy watchdog says almost 7 million people were affected, including nearly 320,000 in this country. Information breached included sensitive details related to health, race, and ethnicity, as well as dates of birth and details about relatives. A proposed sum of around $4.5 million would be split based on claimants' documented expenses as a result of the breach. The settlement is subject to court approval.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Profit hit a record for Royal Bank, allowing the lender to boost its dividend for investors. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that and other stories in tonight's Business Report.
Royal Bank's reporting a $5.4 billion profit for its latest quarter. That's a 29% jump year over year. The bank did well in capital markets and wealth management. The CEO says it is keeping goals modest since CUSMA hasn't been renegotiated yet and the economy hasn't normalized. National Bank also reported a profit of $1.1 billion for its latest quarter. It is also benefiting from stronger capital markets and wealth management. National is working through the acquisition of Canadian Western Bank and just announced it's buying some assets from Laurentian Bank. Toronto home sales were down about 16% in November from the year before. The Regional Real Estate Board says the average selling price also dropped more than 6%. It came in at over $1 million. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.68. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.95. Western Canadian Select is down to 45.35, and the TSX gained 111 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Well, we're having such a great time here at Access Storage. They've been a longtime partner of Toy Mountain. I want to bring in Jan again. You have another special donation that you'd like to make tonight.
Yes, we do. We would like this year to present Gina and the Salvation Army with a check for $25,000 to help with building that mound of toys.
Wow, $25,000. That is incredible. Gina, I mean, what do you make of a contribution that substantial?
Okay, the tears are starting, so don't get me started. But my heart is warm. Thank you so much to Access Storage, all of you. This is a wonderful Christmas for a lot of people. Thank you.
It really is. It makes such a difference. Thank you for having us tonight. Thank you to the whole Access Storage team. Look at them. They've been wonderful tonight. We're going to wrap things up with a little more fun and another updated look at your weather forecast. After this, you're watching CTV News. And remember, you can text to donate to Toy Mountain, and you can drop off a new unwrapped toy at various locations around the GTA. You can also scan to donate. See the QR code on your screen? Every little bit makes a difference this time of year. So thank you from CTV and the Salvation Army. Woohoo!
George Springer was back in the city today, helping make a young girl's dream come true.
His return was in partnership with Make-A-Wish Canada. CTV's Jessica Smith was there.
The magic of the holiday season has started a little early this year. Make-A-Wish Canada has teamed up with Jack Astor's to give back in a big way.
A portion of proceeds from everything on Santa's secret menu will help fund life-changing wishes at Make-A-Wish Canada. Guests can also round up their bill, or they can actually purchase a star in stores, which will add to the decor and will also create another donation to go to Make-A-Wish Canada.
11-year-old Delphina Budziak is a Make-A-Wish ambassador, baseball player, and massive Toronto Blue Jays fan. She's teamed up with Blue Jays superstar George Springer to raise some much-needed funds.
I feel excited and happy that I get to raise funds for Make-A-Wish for other kids to have the same wish that I did and the same experience.
For me as a father, I want my kids to have every opportunity that they possibly can, to have as much fun as they possibly can. So that being said, I want other families to have that.
Delphina had her wish granted in 2024 and had the chance to visit Disney in Florida with her family and check out the Jays at spring training.
Even though we went through a lot and could definitely still probably go through a lot, we have that to always fall back on, that memory and that feeling.
Delphina experienced living with a critical liver disorder and received a transplant and is proud to pay it forward.
It honestly felt so amazing, I just want other kids to have the same experience that I did.
According to the Wish, there are currently more than 3,700 children in Canada still waiting for their wish to be fulfilled.
Each restaurant location is decked out as a festive holiday destination for the campaign, and that runs all the way through to January 4th, with a portion of the proceeds going right back to Make-A-Wish Canada. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
All right, let's go back to Leaside, where so many generous donors are pitching in. Lindsay.
Nathan, Michelle, it's been a fabulous night with wonderful people making a difference, including these two sisters here, Ariana and Nadia. Do you want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone watching?
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays!
Thank you to you young kids helping make a difference for other kids. And a big thank you to everybody who tonight has helped us build a toy. It's been so great being here. Let's take one more look at your weather. 7-day forecast shows, some pretty cool temperatures over the next couple of days here, including into the weekend. Another blast of Arctic air as we head into Sunday night, and Monday's going to be quite chilly as well. Just prepare for some flurries here and there. We're having a wonderful time building a toy mountain! And we're not done yet. There's still lots of time. Tomorrow we are going to be at Fairview Mall, and on Friday we're going to be at Square One, so lots more to enjoy. Speaking of enjoying, we're going to finish things off with our beautiful McGregor carolers. Nathan and Michelle, have a wonderful night.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Thanks, everyone. I want to listen in.
Happy New Year.
Nice.
We're out of time, but that was fabulous. All right, thanks to everybody. And you can join Omar Sachedine. He's on at 11 tonight for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Almond with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.